Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. And I'm glad you're watching today because on today's video I want to quickly talk about the different kinds of savings that you should have. In the last video that I made, this one here, I took our time to talk about why we should save with a purpose. I took our time to talk about how to save with a purpose in mind. So on today's video I want to take our time to buttress my point. Now, if you haven't seen that video, please make sure you go and see that video because it will go a long way to help you. Now, the reason I want to share this very topic is because quite a lot of people, when it comes to savings, of course they are good at it, but what most people do is that they just have a savings account and then they just keep putting money there and they say they are saving for rainy day, which is not a bad idea at all because at least they have taken the first step of keeping money aside. But the challenge here is that if you're keeping money aside without a purpose in mind, that savings will not benefit you in any way. In the long run, what you're going to do is that something is going to come up, and at the end of the day you are going to use up that money and then you begin from the start again, which is not how it is supposed to be done. So if you truly want to get better with your money, if you truly want to see your money produce better results for you in such a way that you will be happy with yourself, then this is what you should do. You need to have different kinds of savings accounts, or rather different kinds of savings. Now I'm going to be talking about 7, and then I'll probably give you some bonuses, so make sure you stick around to the end because what I want to share with you to go a very long way to help you. Do not shrug it off and say, oh, is it not savings? Most people, they just feel that is it not savings? Okay, I will just put some money aside. But it goes beyond putting some money aside. It goes beyond that if you truly want to see the benefits of savings. So let's get right into this. Now, if this is your first time coming to this channel, don't forget my name is Franklin from the Money Code Academy. And if this is your first time watching a video like this, I want you to know that on this channel, I talk about entrepreneurship, I talk about personal finance, I talk about financial freedom, online businesses, and all that. So if these are the things that interest you, consider subscribing, and don't forget to click on the notification bell so that the next time I post a new video, you'll be the first to receive it. Now, don't forget to also smash the like button if the things that I'm sharing with you is benefiting you in any way. So let's get right into this. Now, the first savings account that you should have, which is very important, is an emergency fund. Now, this is very important because we are living in a world today where nothing is promised. Nothing is promised in the sense that anything can just come up. For example, we all saw what happened last year in 2020, how the restrictions came, the lockdown came, many people lost their jobs, and it was a difficult moment both for individuals, families, and also businesses. Now, imagine people who lost their job and they didn't have an emergency fund. Just think about it. How will it be like? Now, you might be saying, okay, what is an emergency fund? This is the kind of fund you keep some money, aside for an emergency. Maybe something happens, that cut off your financial supply. You will have somewhere to at least put your hands instead of going out there to borrow or ask people for money. So having an emergency fund is very important. I'm going to do a video very soon on how to work out an emergency fund for yourself. Until then, I want you to consider this because this is very important. Now, when we talk about emergency fund, we always say that you should start with $1,000, a goal of $1,000. And then when you have hit $1,000, then you can increase it. Now, this is a kind of fund that you don't touch it at all. You do everything you can, you discipline yourself to ensure that you don't touch that money. Why? Because you are keeping it for an emergency. Okay, in most cases we advise that you make it such a way that it will be for a period of 6 months. Okay, now this is so important. For example, the emergency fund you are keeping, it should be something that will sustain you for a period of 6 months. Now, the next kind of savings that you should keep or that you should have, that you should consider having, is a retirement fund. Now, this is also another very important one that most people don't think that they should have. But you see, it is very important for you to consider having this, because you need to begin from now to start planning for your old age. Because see, you will not always have the kind of strength that you have now. You may not always have the kind of opportunity that you have now. You may not always have the kind of job that you have now, because in the long run, there is something called retirement age. As a matter of fact, when you get to that very age, you have to retire. But the question is, when you are retiring, what is going to happen to you? You get the point now. What's going to happen to you when you retire? You see that now? There are many people who have retired. I remember some months ago, an uncle of mine told me that he has retired now from active government service, and so I asked him, what next? The question is always, what next? So what's going to happen now? But the sad news is that quite a lot of people don't consider this. They don't think about it. So because of that, they don't invest into their future. The retirement fund is an investment into your future. And that is something that you truly, truly need to think about. Now, in some parts of the world, in firms, in some companies, they already have that package drawn out in such a way that as you are earning, they are deducting a certain amount of money into that very savings, okay? But in some places, nothing like that happens. For example, maybe you are into business, you are self-employed. You are the one who will have to determine that for yourself. So my advice would be, depending on your location now, that you should keep your eyes down. Look for companies who are into these things, Discuss with them and get to know what is there, okay, so that you can go ahead and start keeping this retirement money. It is so important. Is that okay? It is very, very important. It's something that you need to do for your future, because when you get to that age, you're not going to be depending on your children. In most cases, you may even still have some kids who are depending on you. So what are you going to do? Think about it. So this is something that you really, really need to work on. In the United States, they have many of these Roth IRA. They have the 401k, okay? But in other parts of the world, they have their own systems as well. Wherever you are, you need to, look for the system that is working in your place, so that you can open an account with them, and then you can start removing money in that direction. For some people, what they do is that they just keep a particular amount of money in fixed deposit, and they keep it for a long time, and then all they do is that they just keep boosting it. They keep boosting it. That's what they do. But then they keep it and say, okay, for the next 20 years, or for the next 25 years, or for the next 30 years, I'm not going to touch this. And, it's just there. In most cases, it starts yielding little interest here and there, because in the long run, there is nothing as beautiful as making money on top of your money. You get the point now. So this is why you have to do a personal check, okay, a personal research on this, so that you can know the right step to take in this direction. Very, very important. Now, another kind of savings that you are expected to have is the college savings. Of course, I know that you may have children, and so it is of great importance that we plan for them. So as you are earning, it is good that you have a different kind of savings for your children, where you are saving up for their college education. You all know that education these days has become very, very expensive. So you need to discuss with your bank. Now, this is something that I really, really want to encourage you about. Most people, the relationship that they have with their bank is that, they just go there to keep money. Okay, they just go there to keep money, and that's it. They keep money there, they withdraw the money, and that's the only transaction they do with the bank. But you need to go beyond that. You need to sit with your bank manager, find out the programs that are going on that could go a long way to help. In some banks today, they already have this thing that we are talking about. They already have it. These college funds, college or education fund, they already have it. All you need to do is discuss with them, and then they will let you know the protocols, the procedures that are there. Okay, so every month, or depending on what program is there, you can now start taking out money for that purpose. And in most cases, it is always for a number of years. So you just keep doing it, you just keep doing it, you just keep doing it. Now, for example, you say, oh, but I already have my kids and I didn't plan for all that. It's still not a yardstick. It is still not late. Okay, depending on where your children are right now, okay, you need to work on this. You need to work on this anyhow. Okay, but now this depends on the level that your children are at this point. But if, for example, you are just newly wedded, okay, then this will go a very long way to help. It will go a very long way to help. I'm telling you, a very long way to help. So that's something that you need to work on.